Good morning to you. I am Andile Milton Pengu, student number 202834. And I'll be discussing my action plan and my concerns that I observed during my teaching practice. When I went on my teaching practice, I've observed this for about 3 years, and it was later on confirmed during my fourth teaching practice. When I went for my teaching practice, I noticed that in the foundation phase classes, the children have difficulties adding and subtracting when it's higher numbers. When it's just one ranging up to 5, they seem okay. 5 up to 10, they seem fine. But once it goes to two decimals, it becomes a challenge for the learners. Even 8 up to 7 up to 10, it's a challenge. And also, I observed that learners have difficulty answering questions in their question papers because they struggle to read. Now, my action plan would be that if you are working in a classroom where you find that learners are finding difficulty reading, you need to have a mediated learning experience where you incorporate mediating with other learners, using peers to teach other learners, but in an indirect way. In this way, I will be able to teach the learners how to use whatever information and knowledge they have and give it to the others. Now, my action plan would be based on taking learners, grouping them, not specifically according to their learning abilities or their knowledge, but grouping them and having maybe one sharp learner where they're able to control the group. So they'll be the group leader. Now, when you have that group of learners, you have the weak ones, or maybe two weak ones, three that are a bit sharp or a bit clever, then they're able to work together. Give them some aids and apparatuses. Now, when you give them aids and objects to use when they're actually demonstrating, like for example, let's say you give them pencils, give them 10 pencils, and your question is 7 minus 3. Now, the other one will say, okay, let's take 7 pencils 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 pencils. Now, let's minus 3. Then they take away 3, leaving them with 7. Now, that will be maybe the weak learner. Then the sharp learner will say, no, it says 7 minus 3. So you must start off with 7 pencils, then remove 7 pencils. So they'll count 7 pencils, then remove 3 pencils, and they'll be left with 4, and that'll be the answer. So the learners will be able to work together. Now, when that learner is listening to the other learner saying, no, we are going to start with 7 and remove the 3, they're able to understand, oh, that's why you have the 7 objects there, because it says 7 minus 3. You start with the 7, then you remove 3 from that 7. Now, that's mediating. Now, as a teacher, you go there and you ask some questions. Let's say they started off with 10% and they removed 3, and you say, didn't it say 7 minus 3? Aren't you supposed to start with 7? You are just pushing them in the right direction, but you're not helping them. You're not directing the lesson. Then also for reading, which was a big issue, you can use the structured. You can use the structural cognitive modifiability theory, where you are able to use your environments. Isn't a structured modifiability theory deals with using your environment to help you to push in the right direction. So you can use a reading corner. I noticed that a lot of schools don't have reading corners. You can use reading corners and charts in your class environment. Change your class environment to enhance and improve the child's ability to think and their wording and sounding out of phonics. Now, if you have a lot of phonic charts, and in the morning, every time in the morning, you go from one chart to another and they say the phonics, say the letters, the child is able to come across the letter in the words and they think, oh, this is a oo. Then they say f, oo, d, because they learn the f, the oo, and the d. So they're able to work around it. Now, when learners are using this theory, they will be able the enrichment of the environment will be able to help them learn more better and read more better, because this theory deals with that the cognitive level of the learner is not fixed. It can be modified, it can be changed, can be improved. So by you using the environment to stimulate the learners and also teach them a few things using the environment around you, charts, reading corner, you are able to stimulate them, teach them new things, and that will help them read better. Thank you. I hope you understand the way I worded out. I was trying to rush for that 5 minutes.